Today, I want to unpack something almost all of us struggle with: procrastination. But instead of just calling it laziness or bad time management, we're going to look at it through the lens of psychology. See, procrastination isn't just a harmless quirk or a productivity issue. Modern psychologists actually see it as a complex emotional response. It's less about managing your time and a lot more about managing your feelings. Most of the time, when we procrastinate, it's because the thing we're avoiding stirs up some kind of discomfort. It might make us feel anxious, bored, overwhelmed, insecure, or sometimes all of the above. That project you've been putting off? Maybe it triggers self-doubt. And our brains, which are wired to avoid pain and seek comfort, look for quick ways to dodge those uncomfortable emotions. Now, there's a psychological term for this tendency. It's called temporal discounting. It's the natural habit we all have of valuing immediate rewards more than future ones. So, even though you logically know that finishing your assignment or cleaning your inbox will feel good in the long run, watching one more video or grabbing a snack feels way more appealing right now. The future benefits seem distant and abstract, while the current distractions are right in front of you. And on a biological level, there's actually a little tug-of-war happening inside your brain when you procrastinate. It's a battle between two systems. First, you've got the limbic system. That's the part of your brain that's all about emotions and immediate gratification. Then there's the prefrontal cortex, which handles things like long-term planning, decision-making, and impulse control. When the limbic system wins that battle, you end up reaching for your phone or opening up a new YouTube tab instead of tackling your to-do list. And for people who procrastinate a lot, research shows that the prefrontal cortex tends to be less active in those critical decision-making moments. But wait, it gets deeper. Procrastination is also closely tied to how we see ourselves. Tasks that feel important to our identity, things like creative work, big career goals, or anything tied to personal worth, those can be especially intimidating. If there's a chance we might fail or fall short, it feels safer to delay. Because as long as we haven't started, we haven't failed. Our abilities stay untested and our ego stays intact. And this isn't just a theory. Studies have found that people who struggle with perfectionism, harsh self-criticism, or a fear of failure are much more likely to procrastinate. And here's something you might not have heard before: psychologists actually identify different types of procrastination. Avoidant procrastination is when you delay because you're afraid of failing or being judged. Arousal procrastination is when you wait until the last minute because you crave the adrenaline rush of working under pressure. And decisional procrastination happens when you get stuck overthinking and can't make a choice, so you avoid deciding altogether. Figuring out which type you tend to lean toward can be really helpful in understanding your habits and in finding ways to work through them. Now, we can't have an honest conversation about procrastination without mentioning its impact on mental health. Because when it becomes chronic, it's not just inconvenient, it can seriously mess with your well-being. Research has consistently shown that chronic procrastinators report higher levels of anxiety, depression, stress, and low self-esteem. It can disrupt sleep, hurt your work or academic performance, and chip away at your confidence. And it creates this nasty feedback loop. The more you put things off, the worse you feel, and the worse you feel, the more likely you are to procrastinate again. So, to wrap this up, psychologists don't see procrastination as a simple problem of laziness or weak discipline. It's a deeply emotional, complicated behavior shaped by how we regulate our feelings, how we view ourselves, and how we weigh short-term relief against long-term rewards. And the good news is, once you start to understand what's actually happening when you procrastinate, you can begin to break that cycle. It's not easy, but with a little self-awareness and the right emotional tools, it's totally doable. All right, that's it for today's episode. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, and I'll catch you next time.